Hey guys, this is Stacy from eatthebite.com, and today I'm making bone-in stuffed chicken breast with spinach and Gouda. Let me show you how to make it. I'm making some rosemary potatoes to go with my chicken, so I'll start by chopping the potatoes into bite-sized chunks. Just cut them in half and then in half again, then cut them into smaller pieces like this. I transfer those to a bowl for now and we'll set them aside. Next, I'll pull some fresh rosemary from the stems, chop that down into smaller bits, and then finally dice it down from there. I've got a block of Gouda cheese I'm using for this, and I'll start by slicing it into strips like you see here. This is the cheese we'll use to stuff under the skin of the chicken. Back to the potatoes for a moment. I'm going to add that chopped rosemary, some olive oil, salt, and pepper. Now just toss the potatoes around until everything is well coated. It should look like this when you're done. I'm going to set that aside while I finish my other prep work. The spinach. It's frozen spinach, so it's wet. We need to get that water out of it, and you can do this by placing a strainer over a bowl and pressing it out. You can do this by using a fork and then blotting it with paper towel, or you can use cheesecloth, which I prefer. I bought this cheesecloth about 10 years ago, and I'm pretty sure this will last my whole life. Whenever I need it, I just pull it out and cut off a section. After I cut it, I'll place the cheesecloth over a bowl. Then I'll pour the spinach on top of it. Next, I'll start squeezing, and you can see a lot of water coming out of it right away. So just keep squeezing until you get it all. Next, we're going to take that spinach and put it in a bowl. Then we'll just fork it apart a little bit like this. Let's move on to the chicken. You want to find the opening on the chicken skin and slowly slide your fingers under the skin so it lifts up from the chicken. Do this gently and carefully. Reach your fingers to the edge, but don't let them poke all the way through to the other side. One end of the skin will be open, but the other needs to stay closed. While you're doing this, you should also trim the fat off the edges of the chicken as you go along. Let's look at one more. Gently slide your fingers under the chicken skin to separate it from the meat, but don't let your fingers poke through the other end. We want that closed so it creates a nice stuffing pocket. After you finish that, we'll start by stuffing the cheese slices under the skin. Add as much as you can fit, and if there's more room in the end, you can always break a small piece off and stick it in there. Next, we'll grab a pinch of spinach and do the same thing. Stuff it under the skin. It'll get a little messy here, but you'll survive. A little more spinach in there, and then this is what our final product will look like. Follow the same process for all 4 chicken breasts. After you do that, we'll season it with some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and paprika. Now we'll add a drop of olive oil to each breast and rub the seasoning together to spread it out over the chicken. You'll do this for all stuffed chicken breasts on both sides. And once you've transferred your rosemary potatoes and stuffed chicken breast to the sheet pan, you'll cook this in a preheated oven at 400 degrees for about 50 minutes, turning the potatoes halfway through. And your sheet pan dinner is ready to go. I put my potatoes in a bowl and garnished it with a few sprigs of rosemary and a little bit of additional chopped rosemary as well. This is optional. Put a few shakes of red pepper flakes also as an optional garnish. And here's our finished product. I transferred all the stuffed chicken to a platter, and I garnished that with some fresh chopped parsley, which is optional. And now, it's time to eat the bite. This chicken is moist and tender, and the combination of the spinach and Gouda is fantastic. And here's my perfect bite with chicken, cheese, spinach, and a little crispy chicken skin. I highly recommend you give this one a try, and I hope you love it as much as I do. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, you'll find this and all the printable recipes over on my website at eatthebite.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.